When I first tried Affinity on Linux, it was a bit of a mess, if I'm entirely honest. It was flashing when you move things around, the menus were black, it used to crash. For me, it was unusable. But now there's been an update from Twig over on GitHub who runs Affinity on Linux, and oh my god, it is pretty much perfect. So, let's get it done. Okay, so I already have this installed on my Fedora and it's absolutely awesome. So save me having to like undo it all and redo it all again. This time I'm going to use a VM, and the good thing about using the VM in this case is it's going to be as plain as Fedora as it can be. I've literally just installed Fedora, did an update on it, and then that's it. So we're in our VM now, and the first thing you'll need to do is download your Affinity applications, and in this case we want to get the Windows ones, and for each one make sure it says MSI XE. I already have all these three downloaded. You can just install one, or you can install two of them, three of them. It's up to you which ones you want to install, but for the purpose of this video we're going to do them all because I'm going to show you how to do the install and then follow it with the other two. The other key part of the install is Lutris, and this is the program we're going to be using to install the Affinity Windows executables into Linux. And it's basically like a layer that sits like on Linux, like a compatibility layer between the Windows executables and Linux being able to run them and everything else. So there's a really bad explanation for it. There's a better explanation for it on the Lutris page, I'm sure. But that is essentially what it does. I'm going to install mine from the Fedora store because I'm on Fedora. If you're on anything else and you want to use Flatpak, that's fine too. That will work exactly the same. Apart from there'll just be one tiny change where we copy a file to a different folder later on, but it still works. Actually took quite a while. I think it's on the VM. Normally it's like pretty much seconds. So yeah, I've got that. We've got Lutris on our desktop. So we're going to launch it from there. And when you load up Lutris for the first time, I stupidly did it a minute ago without recording because I just wanted to make sure everything was working. But it'll come up with some things down here. Just let them run through, let them finish installing. It's just installing all its dependencies. All of this is possible because of Twig over on GitHub. So Twig 6943 and the Affinity on Linux GitHub. This is awesome. So I'll link to this so you know exactly where to go and exactly which guide to use. There's a few different guides. We're going to use the written guide, and then we're going to go through for the Lutris one, which is going to take us to this page here. And we're going to follow this through today, get this installed. Okay, so now we need to download the version of Wine. We're going to use this Elemental Warrior Wine, so you can just click this one, and it'll take you through to the release page. Take the latest one and download it. Shouldn't take too long. It's fine. And then in our downloads folder, we're going to right click that. We're going to extract it. You can delete the archive as well. You don't need to keep it. Okay, that's done. And then we're going to move that into this directory, which in my case is home, gauge.local, share, Lutris, run as wine. Obviously for you it'll be different because it'll be your username. And if you're on Flatpak, down in the description will be the alternative folder for Flatpak. You just paste it into there anyway. You paste the folder in, and then that's it. That is that done. The next part, if we go back to our guide, I'm clicking in the wrong place. If we go back to our guide, is going to be, go back. We need to download a configuration file. So this is a YAML file. Now, if you right click this and do save link as, it'll save it in a really dodgy format and it won't work. It will fail. So you need to make sure you're clicking in to the file and then pressing the download icon here, and that'll format it all exactly how Lutris wants it. That YAML file will then go into your downloads folder, hopefully with your other executables, just keeps them all nice and together. So we are now going to go back into Lutris. We're going to click the little plus up here, and we're going to say install from a local install script. And we're going to go into our downloads, pick our affinity.yaml, and press install. Then press install again. You can change this if you want it to install to a different place, but in this case, I'm just going to say that's fine. I want it to create a desktop shortcut, and I also want it to create an application menu shortcut for me. So tick both of those and press continue. So now it's going to say, which file do you want to download? So we're going to pick, you can pick any of them. The one that I'm most interested in is Designer. I don't actually use the other two, but yeah. I'm going to install Designer and then leave this one here. This is going to download the other bits that it needs as it goes. So I'm going to click install, and it's going to run for a little while now. So now, yeah, we're getting, could not find wine. So anything that it needs, it's just going to pop up and say, do the install. So we'll click that as we go. It's taking a lot longer in the VM. This is miles quicker, not in the VM. So I'm going to cut it here, and then we'll come back to anything that pops up. All right, so now we're at the standard Windows installer. So we can just press install on that and let that do its thing. All right, that's finished pretty quick, actually. So we can press close there, and then this will finish. Now, don't launch anything yet. We just need to press close. We've got this thing here called Affinity Suite. So we are going to make some changes to this because actually this isn't Affinity Suite. This is Affinity Designer. Yeah, we did do Designer, didn't we? Yeah, we did. So we can change that to Affinity Designer. And we need to make a few changes. So we need to change the executable. So in here we can, at the moment it's pointing to nothing, so it's just not going to load. So we're going to say, sorry, I went a bit ahead there. So I'm going to click the three little dots here on executable. We're going to go into Drive C. We're then going to go to Program Files, Affinity, Designer 2. And then in here, there should be an executable called Designer, which we can search for. There it is. Double click that. And then we should be able to save. And this should now work. So I'm going to press play here, just so you can see it here. It's probably going to run a bit funny in here, but then we'll go back to my PC and you can see it actually running properly after we've done some of the steps, because we do want to also install the other two applications. But let's see this start up. Oh, here we go. So on mine, actually, not in the VM, that starts up and it's a black window just with the splash screen, but everything else will load up fine. Now, again, this is all working fine. As you can see, it is. We've not got anything black menus. We haven't got any weird flickering like we had before. It does look a bit compressed because it's in the VM. So just to give you an idea, let's go back to my desktop. Let's load up Affinity Designer and you'll see, depending, the splash screen sometimes loads on a different screen as well, which is very weird. So we might get a black splash screen. We may get nothing. Yeah, the splash screen's down on my monitor. That's below this monitor, my little monitor, but this is going to load up. And yeah, there you go. So you'll see it's nice and clear. If I go through all the menus, you can see they're all there. We'll come back to this in a minute. We'll actually do something. We'll make something in it just to prove that it works. Now we're going to go back to the VM. Okay, so now we want to install one of the others. We're only going to install one, but it's exactly the same process to do one. So we're going to do Affinity Photo. If you want to do Publisher, you can do that. You can follow each one. So the best way to do this is to click on Affinity Designer or whichever one you installed first. Come down to here and then do Run exe inside wine prefix. And then from here, we're going to go to our Downloads folder and then pick the other executable. Like I say, in this case, I'm going to do Photo. So now we get the installer again, but now it's a photo. So we can press Install. All right, so that's now completed. But the problem is, if we click this now, because of the configuration options, this is just going to open up Designer. So what we need to do now is duplicate this, give it a new name. So in this case, we're going to call it Affinity Photo. You can then right click on this and go to configure, and it's already named it Affinity Photo, so that's great, but we need to come back into these game options and change the executable again. So in this case, we're not going to go in Designer, we're going to go into Photo, and then we're going to search for photo.exe. There it is. Save. And that's it for Affinity Photo. If we load that up, that should now bring up Affinity Photo. It definitely does. I've done it on mine. So it's one of those things though, when you start recording, you're like, oh, is it actually going to do the right thing? But yes, there we go. Now we've got Affinity Photo, and again, all the menus work and whatnot. So that's how to install it. That's how to install one of the other apps all through Lutris. If you want to change the icons, because I'm not sure, did we actually get icons? We did get a photo icon. That's quite interesting. This Affinity Suite one, you want to delete that one because that no longer exists inside Lutris. Affinity. Oh yeah, so in your application menu, you've got menus there. So I'd probably bin these ones off completely and then send these to your desktop if you, if you want to, add to desktop. If you want to get the icons, which I do, I like having the icons. Then they basically pull from the executable. So yeah, that's how you get those there. So let's go back to my computer and we'll actually use it so you can see how it actually runs. We all know how wonderful my thumbnails are. My thumbnails are not that great. But I do have a template for it. Unbelievably, I have a template for it to try and make it a bit quicker. Especially with the Linux tutorial ones. When I do my gaming ones, I try and do like a cool one from the game. But for now, this is what I've been using. So these thumbnails, we're going to change some of the bits just so you can see. But yeah, so one of the things for me last time is if I drag an item around, last time it was awful. It used to flash all over the place. It was horrendous. So that all works fine. All of these menus works fine. We're going to change the background. So the layer and layer effects again, this used to be all black and I just couldn't even click anything. So let's pick some colors for our gradient on this one. We're going to go blue. Maybe we'll stick blue to purple. I've been using the purple a lot. It's pretty cool, actually. So we'll go blue to purple. We're going to make the thumbnail for this video as part of the video, which is a bit like Inception, I suppose. Maybe. But we're going to do that. And it also, I mean, it's going to show how it works. You guys could probably do loads of amazing stuff with Designer. I'd use it very, very basically. So on this one, what are we doing? We are installing, well, no, let's call it the Affinity Suite on Linux. I think it just needs that, right? It doesn't even need the bottom text. Probably just needs those. So yeah, we've got these images in already. We can then go in and place. I've got some bits that I just took in my downloads folder. So let's go to Home, Gauge, Downloads. Let's place all of these in. So yeah, I got the logos. Wow, there's a big one. This logo, and then the Affinity on Linux logo. That is some horrendous sizes. But let's start resizing these down so they're actually usable. Like I said, you probably are a much better user of this software than me, so do not see this as a tutorial of how to use this software. I've also done that wrong because I've resized them and they've all skewed, haven't they? So is it Alt? Yeah, it's Alt. I was doing Shift. Yeah, hold Alt. I can tell you that. That's one bit of a Affinity tutorial for you. Hold Alt. It'll keep it in scale. So let's put these somewhere together. You're not going to learn anything. Obviously, like I say, it's more just, look, you can just see that they actually work. I think I want Designer on the front. Move that one over there. And we definitely want our penguin somewhere. Let's move these. Annoyingly, the penguin's hat. Well, let's do this then. We can flip it around, transform, flip horizontal, put it over there. The penguin's hat isn't complete, but that's fine. We want to move these three, put these into the middle. I think these will do. By the time this video comes out, this thumbnail might have changed, but probably not, knowing me. I think for all of these, I'm not sure if you can do this in one. I want to change these to have an outline. So we're going to go layers and outline on, and pop, 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 pop. Oh yeah, it works. It works. Maybe white. Will white look better than black? No, black. White. I'm gonna go for white. Stands out a bit more, doesn't it, for a YouTube thumbnail? It's really basic, but like I say, this is the thumbnail that I am going to use. This thumbnail. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to use this thumbnail. So as you can see, it all works perfectly fine. You don't need to launch it through Lutris. You can launch it from your desktop. You can just open up Lutris and press play. It's all up to you. But I have not found a single bug with it. It hasn't crashed on me once. Nothing else. The only thing I will say is, if you just go up and click the cross, it will not ask you if you want to save. So make sure that you are saving as you go along, because the moment you click that, it just goes away. It just goes away. I did save that though, but it'll just go away and it will not come back to where it was. Oh, I suppose I should just exporting, because I know previously, again, exporting sometimes could crash. So let's get this loaded back up. So yeah, there you go. Got it loaded back up, and then exporting, we can just do file export. Let's bring this over here to make sure. Yeah, it can be seen. In which case I'm going to be doing YouTube, so I'm going to JPEG it and I'm going to drop it. The one annoying thing is it always defaults back to here. So you have to, like, if you've got all your images in different folders, like me, if you've got some saved on another drive, you have to keep going back and forward. So sometimes I just grab all my images, put them in one folder like I did with the downloads here, then I can place them in. But in this particular case, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put this in the downloads, and this is going to be Affinity Linux thumbnail. There you go. That's it. I should do this on every video. We should just make thumbnails at the end of every video, and then it can just be part of the recording process. I hope that works out really well for you. Affinity's great. Like, it's I used to have Photoshop. I moved to Affinity when I was on Windows, and it's really good. It's really user friendly. I think it's brilliant. My wife now uses it for photography stuff. She thinks it's great. So yeah, Affinity's wicked, and now it works really, 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 really well on Linux. So if you have any questions, give me a shout in the comments. I'm sure I'll be able to help out. And if not, definitely go over to the Affinity on Linux GitHub. There is a link to their Discord there as well, where I'm sure they will be very happy to answer questions. All right, that's the end of the tutorial. Hopefully it wasn't too waffly and too jumpy about. I tried to do my best to go between the VM and my desktop. I think it was okay. Anyway, be good to yourselves, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.